Hey, and welcome to Homeschool-ology. My name is Nikki. If you're new here, welcome. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4. We're in our about 6th year, moving into our about 7th year of homeschooling. And today's video, I'm going to share with you kind of a little bit about the Brave Writer program. We've been using it for about 1.5 years now in our homeschool, and so I just wanted to share our thoughts, how we use it, and that's what the video is going to be about today. Like I said, we've been using Brave Writer for about 1.5 years now, and I had already recorded a whole video sharing what we use, how we use it and all that stuff, and then I was editing it, and literally the day I was editing it, they came out with their new stuff for the new coming school year, and a lot of things that I was concerned about, they've revamped it. They've changed a lot about the program, and a lot of things that I had issue with were things that they addressed with this new revamping. So I thought about, adding a post to my video, and then like a edit to my video at the end, and then I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna start over from the beginning and share with you guys kind of what we've used, how we've used it, and kind of what the new stuff is, and how, what they've addressed that I wasn't exactly happy with, and how it's a change now, and all the good things about the Brave Writer program that we love and that is new, and I'm hoping we're going to love even more. So if you're unfamiliar with the Brave Writer program, it is a program created by Julie Bogart. She's written a couple of books. The Brave Learner was her first book, or well, the go-to book from her, and then she has a new book out called Raising Critical Thinkers, and she has written a writing program. So Brave Writer is essentially a writing program. However, it is about learning how to find a voice and learning how to become a writer through reading great literature. So it is a great... What are you doing? Get down. Sorry, puppy. So it is a great program, an English language arts program, but it is more focused on writing. It is not a learn to read. It doesn't include things like handwriting and spelling and all those things. It's not a full language arts curriculum, but it's focused on writing and learn to write as far as writing stories and things like that. But she does this through great literature. So it does have some really good literature components, and does include things like reading comprehension and things like that in it. So it's a really great language arts piece, but it's not a full program. But basically, if the way the Brave Writer program is laid out, it's 3 parts. So in the middle, if I can find the image here, I'll post it here, but she kind of represents it with puzzle pieces. So the middle puzzle piece is what she calls original thought. It used to be called Writer's Jungle, which they have retired and come out with Growing Brave Writers. And that's her new one, and I'm super excited to get it. Just so you know, all of this stuff is available for purchase now. All of her new things are available for purchase now. However, they are not being released until July 15th. So it's a pre-order thing, and it comes out on July 15th. So the middle component is what she calls original thought. And this is, basically where it's like teaching children to find their voice and to figure out, how to get their voice across. So that is the original thought. And to be honest, up until this point, we have not really used the original thought piece. I have not read Writer's Jungle yet. I did pick it up when it was on sale, but I'm excited to read the Growing Brave Writers that's coming out, but I haven't actually used that piece yet. But then to the outsides of that middle piece, she has both mechanics and literature, which is like grammar and reading comprehension and all that, through reading literature, and then she has writing projects. So I have used both of those outer components, and that's kind of what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So we started by using the mechanics and literature pieces. You can buy a bundle that includes the Growing Brave Learners, the mechanics and literature for your age group, and the writing projects for your age group. They have a bird just flew out my window. So they have those bundles that you can purchase everything all together, or you can buy things in pieces. And so far I've bought things in pieces, but I am buying a bundle now because they've put out a new program that I will tell you about in a minute that I'm super excited about. So, but basically we started with the mechanics and literature pieces, which originally, or prior to now, were the dart, arrow, boomerang, and slingshot. They've added a new quill, and this is for beginning learners, so that 5 to I think it's 5 to 6. 5 to 7 is for quill, and I'm super excited about this piece. It uses picture books and sounds amazing. So like, I just cannot wait. I watched their release videos, Julie's release videos, and they were so infectiously exciting, and I'm just so excited to get this piece and use it with my younger two, and might even do it with all of my kiddos depending on if they want to participate. My bigger ones want to participate, but it just sounds amazing, and I'm super excited about it. So I'm gonna pick that up as a bundle this year. So yeah, so I'm super excited about that quill. But so far we've used a dart and a couple of arrows with my oldest daughter, and I'm going to show you what those kind of look like. I'm going to give you a down view of these in a minute, but this is the most of them, or all of it, comes as PDFs that you print out yourself, but this is the new style of their program, and I just love it. I think it's so cute. But basically it's a guide that this one is Charlotte's Web, so you can buy these as a bundle and you'll get a new one each month. So it's like kind of like a subscription, and then send you a new book guide each month. Or you can go on and buy what they call literature singles, and you can just go through the list, find one you like, and pick one, and that's kind of how we started, because my daughter was just really getting into reading, and I wanted her to be excited about the pieces she was reading, so I wanted her to pick the pieces, and so that's kind of where we started, was doing the literature singles. And so we used dart first, and we loved it. We thought it was great, but she was kind of like on the upper, so dart, a quill is 5 to 7, dart is 8 to 10, arrow is 11 to 12, boomerang is 13 to 14 years, and slingshot is 15 to 18 years. And so she was kind of like on the end of that dart range, and we decided to go ahead and move on to some arrows. We did a couple of them, but the last one we did was the Mysterious Benedict Society, and this is the older style, so this is not what it would look like now, because they are going through and updating them. But I am going to go ahead and show you kind of the difference between, the level of intensity between dart and arrow in a minute. So that's the mechanics and literature piece, and then the other piece of it is those writing projects. So for the writing projects, basically the way it is there is a new writing project each month, and you're supposed to spend a month going through the writing project and then move on to next month, and so on and so forth. And so there's 10 different writing projects in each of the guides. We did not use it that way. We totally adapted it to our needs, and I'm going to explain that when I'm going, through the down view. But that's what is so great about this program. You can follow it the way they've laid it out, or you can take the pieces and use them the way that work for you. And that's what we've done, and we do really enjoy these writing projects. So jotted down is ages 5 to 7, so that would equivalent to the quill for the mechanics and literature. So we've been using this one, and then we have also been using partnership writing. And so I got them separately to do separately with my daughters, and then as I'm looking through them, they're so easily adaptable to changing for ages that we've actually ended up doing all of these writing projects together. Partnership writing is for ages 8 to 10. Then there's building confidence, which used to be called faltering ownership. That was a name change. So if you hear, in other YouTube videos, if you hear faltering ownership, it is now called building confidence. So we are picking that up I was already planning to pick that up for the next school year, but we are going to go pick that up for the next school year as well, because we are nearing the end of the things from here and ready to move on to the next level. And so And then the last one is help for high school, and it's for ages 13 to 14. And that one is supposed to be done independently. Like the student is actually supposed to read that. So it's a little bit different, but it falls in that writing projects category. So what I'm going to do now is switch to a down view and kind of show you what the insides of these look like, and share with you how we've implemented these in our homeschool and what we use them for. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a look inside each of the two elements, the mechanics and literature, and then the writing projects. I'm going to start with the writing projects because that's what I have here in front of me. This is the jotted down, so this is the stage 1 of the writing projects program. This is intended for ages 5 to 7. You get a table of contents, which the first part is kind of an introduction telling you like basically how to implement the writing projects, like what procedures to use and what things to include during your learning to write journey. And then the part 2 is the actual like explanation of the actual components that are going to be within the writing projects, and then part 3 is the actual writing components themselves. So the beginning, I'm not going to share everything here, but the beginning is the introduction to how to use the program. She talks about like things like poetry tea time and things like that. And then there is a sample routine of how to implement this into your homeschool. It's just a suggested layout. You don't have to use it this way. We definitely didn't use it this way. And then it gets into the actual writing projects. If you've seen if you've been watching my videos, you know I have a fairy tale unit study here. This is where I got the idea for the fairy tale unit study. So this was supposed to be a 1 month activity, and we have stretched it out to a year, going on 2 years that we will probably be doing these fairy tale projects, because we absolutely love it. It's so fun. There's so many fairy tales out there to do this, so we just keep repeating basically the same idea and structure with new fairy tales that are linked to our geography. So wherever we're learning about in geography, we get a fairy tale from that place and we learn about it. So like I said, you can use this 1 month per project like it's intended to be used, or you can use it like we've been using it and taking the pieces that we like, making them fit into our schedule the way we want to, and leaving the rest of it that we are not going to use. So basically each project is laid out the same way, gives you some suggestions on what to do, the order in which to do them, what to do maybe each week. And then it gives you project ideas to do. And so one thing I forgot to mention before is that the writing projects are not actually writing papers. So it's not, this is how you write a paper. This is the 5-paragraph format. That's not what these are. These are getting ideas on how to get you guys excited to write, excited to share what's in their brain, and put it down in a form that can be passed on and shared with someone else. So that's what these writing projects are. Jot it down. Obviously, a 5-year-old is not going to be writing fully. So these are projects that's more like a lot of oral narration, a lot of dictation to the instructor, who is going to be doing a lot of that writing for them. But what it's concentrating on is getting the kids to get used to forming stories, forming, writing that they will eventually be doing. So that is jot it down. After jot it down, you move into partnership writing. So partnership writing, it takes what you've been doing and kind of makes it a little bit more in depth, putting a little bit more onus onto the child. So it is stage 2. It is intended for ages 8 to 10. It is laid out very much the same way. You have your introduction and telling you how to use the program, like how to use each component in there. It's pretty much very, 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 very similar, pretty much the same as the other one, but the writing projects are different. So we have done the secret code. Now, instead of taking a month to do secret codes, we did secret codes in a week. We have done the homophone mini book. We did that in a week. we've done the 5 W's. We did that, I think, over the course of 2 weeks. And then we are going to be doing this one this coming school year, which I'm super excited about. But we've been using this, and as you can see, we've used it, adapted it to what works for us, what fits in our schedule, and we are loving it. So, laid out the same way. You've got all the instructions on how to use the program in the beginning. Then you get into the writing projects themselves, and it's laid out very similarly to before. It tells you, you know, what you should do each week or each step of the lesson. And then I forgot to share with you in the last one, so I'm going to jump back here to the back of the book. So the back of the book does include these sheets here. That's kind of like a way to check off that you've met all of these pieces, that you've done, you know, each of the components, and then gives you a place to write down what you're going to do each day of that week. So these are all included in the back. They're slightly, you know, this one has the secret codes, you know, it includes words to focus, like a word bank, and make sure you're hitting all those specific components. So there's one for each different project in here that has all the same information on it. So these are useful, but honestly, I just didn't use them. But they are useful, and they're back here if you would like to have them. So that is the writing projects. I don't have the next one, but the next one is building confidence, and it's for ages 11 to 12. And then help for high school is for the, you know, kiddos going into high school, and that one is a little bit different because it's meant for the student themselves. So this is the first Brave Writer Mechanics and Literature piece we used, and it is from the DART level. And so we read Charlotte's Web, which my daughter loved. But so basically, I'm gonna flip here to the back because it has. So each guide is going to come with the DART guidelines. The guidelines in each thing is the same. Like, this is the same thing every single time. So, but this is how you should use the guide. This is the directions for the instructor. It tells you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So it gives you all the different components, but it does include a sample routine in here for you. So it does give you kind of a direction to move in. The Brave Writer program uses copy work to, obviously copy work helps improve handwriting, but copy work is also important for a lot of reasons. But it also uses the copy work to talk about grammar and parts of storytelling and writing and all of that good stuff. So you do all of that through the copy work. And then dictation, they offer a couple different styles of dictation. Just straightforward dictation, and then French style dictation, which is basically like having blanks for some of the words, but a lot of it is still there. And then reverse dictation, which is essentially like paragraph editing. My daughter, that's her preferred one, and she also likes French style dictation. So, but they suggest the different styles throughout the weeks, but they also say if your child likes a certain one, just use that one. So that is how it's laid out. And then again, in the back, they do include a skills tracker to make sure that you're hitting the things that you want to be hitting. So each guide has the weekly passage for dictation and copy work, and then it has a literary device, one device per book, and then you're supposed to fit that literary device in wherever you can, where it fits into your schedule. She doesn't say when exactly to do it, but you want to do it while you're doing these activities. Some of the weeks have a little bit more information in them than the others, so we would stick the literary device in the one that had a little bit less information. And then there is a writing activity as well. Back to the guide itself. So here is an example of the dictation or copywork and dictation passage, and then it includes things like big juicy questions to talk about while you're reading. And then here is kind of like the meat and the potatoes of the like grammar and writing style and all those kinds of things, and so it gives you that. And then oh, I guess they do. So we've been using a lot of the arrows that were the old style, and I'm just now noticing, it's been a while since we've used this one, but it does include some spelling things in here. So I said it earlier that it doesn't, but it actually does in the new update. So this is kind of the things I was talking about. And I'm going to talk to you more about it when I get to this one over here, but these are things that I didn't love about the program that they have addressed, which is super exciting. And then this is all information to learn about, and then it provides activities for you to do at the end of each week. And then it just repeats the process over again. So I wanted to show you kind of the difference in level. So Arrow does come with guidelines as well, like I showed you in the back. I don't have those printed off. I just use those on my computer, so I don't have that to actually physically show you here, but it's the same structure. These are the components. These are how you use each of the components. Here's a schedule idea, and a skills tracker and all that same stuff. And then this is the actual guide itself for the Mysterious Benedict Society, and I wanted to show you the difference between the copywork. So the copywork in a Dart was just one sentence, basically one sentence each week. The copywork when you get to the Arrow is significantly more. So it is a nice jump in, you know, a nice step up in what they're copying and what they're doing. Obviously this is a used copy and we have lots of editing here. But the structure is the same. It's, you know, it tells you what to do, it tells you when to do it, and all those same things. So some of the things I didn't love about this was I felt like the grammar wasn't super strong and it didn't include a lot of other things. They have addressed a lot of that with their updated style. So I'm excited to get some of those new ones and see, you know, how much they've improved in that area. But like I said, at the end of the guide, at the end of your 3 weeks, you're going to have a literary element for that book, and you fit that in when you can. And then the end, she always provides some activities for you guys to do to celebrate the end of the book and the end of that lesson, because she thinks celebrating is important, and it so is. So that is the inside of the mechanics and literature components, the Dart and the Arrow. Like I said, the next one would be Boomerang. So Dart is ages 8 to 10, Arrow's ages 11 to 12. Boomerang is the next level up, which would be ages 13 to 14. Then Slingshot is 15 to 18. They've added a new one called the Quill, which is for ages 5 to 7. So that was a look inside the Brave Writer program and how we've been using it in the past. Like I said, there were some things that we didn't necessarily love, but they've addressed it with this new revamping, and I'm super excited to get these pieces and see how they've changed up the things that I was a little unsure about before. So if you haven't watched them yet, I highly suggest, if they're still up, going back and watching Julie's reveal photos of the books, or photos, reveal videos of the books for the upcoming school year, and kind of, she gives a lot of information about the things they've revamped. They were really infectiously exciting. She made me excited to do more, getting ready for the next year and do more writing with my kiddos, and even that's their least favorite subject, and I'm still excited about it. So I highly suggest going and checking those out if you can. Oh, the Brave Writer program also has online courses, both for the teacher and for the students themselves. So if you've taken advantage of any of those, I'd love to hear what you think about them. If you have questions about anything that I've shared today or anything about the Brave Writer program, I will try to answer them for you or do my best to find the answer for you. So while you're down there, I hope you will subscribe to this channel, ring that notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up so you can see how we end up using the new pieces and the new things in our upcoming school year. And if you want to see more of a live up-to-date, I try to keep as much posting up there as I can over on Instagram at Homeschool-ology. And so if you want to see how we're implementing this in our new homeschool year, which is going to start about mid-July, head on over there and follow us there. And that is all I have for today. So I hope you will stick around and meet me here to chat again, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye. I highly recommend, if you can, to go back and watch Julie's release videos for this new year. They were really... What is it? What's going on? You want to say hello? Do you want to say hello? No. No? Okay.